आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भीतिनाशनं द्विषतां कालदण्डं तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् सन्नद्धकवचीखड्गी चापबाणधरो युमा गच्छन्ममाग्रतो नित्यं रामः पातु स लक्ष्मणः नमः कोदण्डहस्ताय सन्धीकृतशराय च खण्डिताखिलदैत्याय रामायापन्निवारिणे रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः अग्रदपृष्ठदश्चैव पार्श्वदश्च महाबलो आकर्णपूर्णधन्वानो रक्षेतां रामलक्ष्मणौ मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीयगुणाब्धये चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलं सियावर रामचन्द्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय मापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे तु जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। रामायण जो है, रामायण इज दैट it takes a lot of time to start and definitely it takes more time to end. Now somebody asked Swamiji, when are you starting Ramayana? So even though it is only Ramayana Katha, Rama Katha here, lot of preparations of the mind is necessary, and that's what we are going a little slow here. Because story all of you know, there is nothing new about it. But what we don't know is the glory of Bhagavan as seen by the Mahatmas. A story can be heard just as a story also. But what is in store in that story, unless it is revealed to us correctly, we don't really enjoy the real content of it. It is like going to a restaurant and eating food, but if you know the ingredients that are there, how it is beautifully mixed and prepared, individually you can enjoy the flavors and spices of it, then your joy is much greater. So to here, Tulasidas ji started with all the vandanas, and now we are in the after the first doha, which is called 2.3 and 4. We read that, starting from Sadhu Charita. मधुचरित शुभचरित कपासो निरस विसत गुणमय फल जासो जो सही सुख पर चित्र दुरावा बंदनीय जगी जग जस पावा मुद मंगलमय संत समाजो जो जग संगम तीरथ राजो राम भक्ति जह सुर सरिदारा सरसई ब्रह्म विचार प्रचारा. We saw in the last session, like the cotton plant, which is nirasa visata gunamaya palajasu, which appears to be tasteless, bright, and a lot of guna. Guna here means lot of fiber. What does it do? Jo sahi dukha para chitra durava. Before preparing it to become a cloth, to weave it, it has to go through many different processes. You cannot directly take the cotton and start using it as a cloth. It has to be properly spinned, beaten up first of all, so that it becomes softer. Then it has to be spinned, made as a thread, and the thread has to be woven, and slowly it comes to a shape of a cloth, and that cloth is meant for what? Parachitra durava, dukkha parachitra. Even though it is going through all those various torturous processes, jo sahi is dukkha, going through all those processes only to what? Parachitra durava, to cover the defects of our body. Isn't it? Because of our clothing only we look presentable. Without the cloth, you look at yourself. One lady said to her husband, see, I am having wrinkles on my face. My eyes are going inside. Wrinkles. And skin has become dry. Hair is almost thinned down. White hairs have appeared. So the husband obviously didn't say anything. Why you are not saying anything? Why are you always seeing negative? See positive things. What is positive in this? Your eyesight is good. That you are able to see all these things. Even though physically you are getting old, eyes are becoming bright only. So, if our physical body were to be without clothes, look at that, how it would be. So, even as the cloth that is gone through, the cotton that has gone through all these various tortures of being processed, at the end what it does is something great to us. In the same way, Mahatmas are those who go through various personal disciplines. Then only they are called sadhus. A sadhaka become a sadhu only when the sadhana is not anymore a pain to that person. Think. When we do any sadhana, whether it is japa or mantra japa or puja or meditation or anything that is to make ourselves better, if we consider that as a torture, then one will not become a sadhu. A sadhu is one who understands why he or she is doing, sadhu or sadhvi. Why I am going through this is not for any other purpose other than making myself a perfect instrument of the Lord. Bhagavan only needs perfect instrument to show his grace and pass his grace through them to the world. Is it not that in our pledge also we say, we know our responsibilities, give us the ability and courage to fulfill them, and we fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. And finally, what do we say? May His grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. How will the grace will flow through us? If we have a defective mind, impure mind, uncompassionate heart, unloving, without devotion to the Lord, heart without devotion to the Lord. How can that be? So, a sadhu is one who has understood why one has to go through this physical discipline, mental discipline. And therefore, here it is just like the cotton, it appears to be nirasa, has no taste. Similarly, a sadhu appears to have no taste to the world. He has no interest in the world. What others take interest in and indulge, he will be a mute witness and indifferent to it. Because his mind has soared above all that. He has gained a greater access to the joy within oneself and in remembrance of the Lord. All others are only fleeting, temporary ones. As the Nachiketa told in Kathopanishad, he tells Yama that Tavaivyavaha Tanartya Gite, keep your dams and damsels with you. These are all abhit jarayanti tejaha. It is only removing more and more energy from your body. They are not going to give a lasting happiness at all. Temporarily, yes. Therefore, nirasa, visada, with so much of purity and gunamaya. They are the very abode of all virtues. What we seek in ourselves, what we seek from others, which we don't practice, in a sadhu, it is fully available. Bhagavan's compassion is experienced through Mahatmas only. While we pray in front of Bhagavan, we don't receive the compassion of the Lord directly, and if at all, we think Bhagavan is compassionate only when He gives what we ask. Is it not? Bhagavan is so compassionate. Why? Because He gave me whatever I want. A parent who gives whatever the children want is not a good parent. What they need you give, not what they want. Because if we keep giving whatever they demand, you are going to spoil them completely. And they will go to USC, University of Spoiled Children. What they need, you should give. Similarly, Bhagavan knows what you need. He will give you only what you need. And greatest need for any bhakta is sadhu sangha. The association with men of great noble virtues, knowledge, devotion, love. So, gunamaya. The sadhus are expression of the Lord, the very manifestation of the Lord. Therefore, here, bandhaniya jahi jaga jaga sajas pava. They are bandhaniya. They are the most worshipful. They are worthy of all the worship. And they are the protectors of the entire world also. Jagat mein vandaniya yash prapt kiya hai. That is why they have gained the name and fame in the world, not because they have achieved something of the political, economic great status. Why in our Bharatavarsha we worship Mahatmas, we adore them, we revere them, true ones, not those who are Udarnimittam Bahurudha Vaishaha, not for the sake of filling the belly, making all the physical and appearance of a sadhu, or making their own forts in the name of. Anyway, so who are the people who are bandhaniya? Why they are so adored by the people? Because they live for others. Paropakaraya. Their life is parahitartham. That's why Bhagavan also said, in Bhagavad Gita beautifully that I like those people. First thing he says about Mahatmas are this, that they are, who is the greatest devotee of mine? He says, Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha. The nature of a Mahatma is Adveshta. They have none to hate. Because they don't see people based upon their race or color or region or religion, name, form, caste, color, none of those. Their perception is samadarshitvam. They see only the same thing. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunichaiva svapake panditaha samadarshinaha. So, Bhagavan Krishna also said, I like these Mahatmas because they are worthy of worship because of the fact that they are men of such compassion. Their whole life is parahitarthaya. Te prapnumanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. They are those who are sarvabhuta hite rataha. They are there to only help everybody. Te, such people, mameva prapnuvanti. They reach me only. In another place he says, nirvairas sarvabhuteshu yassa mamedi pandava. Vairitvam is not there in their heart at all. No virus can attack them. There is no vairitvam. There is no enmity at all. So in the next verse, he says, Muda mangalamaya santa samaju. Muda mangalamaya santa samaju. Jo jaga jangamati ratharaju. I was there just last week in Kashi and Ayodhya. And we did see where Tulasidas ji lived, a beautiful abode, where during his time he was not highly regarded, but he never bothered about that. Because when his heart is totally devoted to Bhagavan, and Bhagavan knows who he is, how does it matter who else is either praising or insulting? He left the body in Kashi only. He was all the time engaged in singing the glory of the Lord, composing various things. And we also went to that place where he met with Hanuman. There is a beautiful Sankata Vimochan Mandir is there, where it is not a form of Hanumanji, but it is in a rock, there is an appearance of the Hanumanji's form. That is where he actually had the darshan of Hanuman, and there only he composed Sankata Vimochan. A glory about Bhagavan Hanumanji, about how that grace of Bhagavan can remove all the obstacles. And we had the great joy of sitting there and chanting Hanuman Chalisa, where all the monkeys were looking at us. There's so many monkeys. Blessing everybody there. So, the Tulasidas ji has written here that it is great joy and blessings to be in the company of Mahatmas. Muda mangalamaya santa samajo. And he compares that with Prayag, not too far away from Kashi. Jo jaga jangamati rataraju. This great confluence of three rivers in Bharatavarsha, in the great divine land of Bharat, these three rivers, Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, when they come together, it is called Prayag. Saraswati cannot be seen. She is hidden, Gupta. When you go to Badri, Badrinath. And little away from Badrinath, when you go towards the last village of India, before the border of China begins, there's a small village called Mana village, or called sometimes also Mana also. You have to walk, to some extent you can go by vehicle and then you reach by walking. There, you can see how powerfully Saraswati appears. And that is where Vyas Maharaj sat down to write entire Mahabharata. And there is a Vyasa Guha also. And there is a Ganesh Mandir also, because that is where he got Bhagavan Ganesha's manifestation, and he asked him to be the writer, stenographer of. See, these are the things, once you have the correct understanding and devotion, those places are the most precious ones. And where Saraswati is flowing such white, bright white, she appears, and there are two mountains, and between that there is a rock that is placed, on which only you passed one from one place to another. That rock is known as beam pool. Bhima, it is said that when all the Pandavas doing the Swarga Arohan, at that time they are gigantic figures, not like us, they are huge. They were able to cross the mountain, just cross the two mountains, that by just leaping. While Draupadi struggled to jump over, Bhima had just lifted one rock and put it across. That is what's called beam pool. Even today it is there. And through that, Draupadi crossed over to the other side, and while they proceeded towards the Swarga. When you walk over that, you will not find anything great about it. But when you walk down and come to the other side and look at it, it is standing there very precariously there, just touching the two mountains. If you know that, you will never cross that. These are the places of great importance, Pauranic importance. And this very Saraswati, when it flows, after that you will never see her. See, any river that flows, you will see after some time flowing through the land and all those things, where you will never see her anymore. It's gone. What you will see is only when it appears in Prayag. In Prayag, which is now going to be a great place of Mahakumbha that is going to take place in the month of January and February this year, preparations are going on. We could feel that when we were passing through that entire area, state of UP. So there, you can, long time back I had been there, the three rivers you can see very clearly. Ganga, which is a kind of white with kind of grayish white, and Yamuna, which is kind of green and bluish color. And then in that particular place where the confluence takes place, you will see the little appearance of the pure white Saraswati also. So they are called, that particular Prayag is known as Tirtha Raju, the king of all the holy places. If you have gone to India, you must visit the Prayag, because that is considered as the highest among all pilgrimage centers. Tirtha Raju. Just like this Prayag is the Tirtha Raju, the holiest of the holy, the Mahatma Sangha Samaju is Jo Jagajangama Tirtha Raju. They are the mobile holy place. Nowadays everything mobile. In movement, you have to go to Prayag to see that place. But whereas Mahatmas, wherever they are moving holy pilgrimage centers. Meaning what? If you are not able to to take a dip in the Prayag, be in the company of Santa Samaj. In the Santa Samaj, when you stay, it is as good or greater than that. Mudamangalamaya. They give the greatest delight to the heart, not entertainment. Our soul seeks completeness. Well, the mind requires only happiness, senses require only indulgence and sense pleasures. Whereas the soul really, that is, we are seeking completion, fulfillment, purnatva. It is looking for it. How does it happen? Only when the karmas end. In Vedanta, we say the soul is none other than our subtle body, which is going through the experiences of all the karmas and karma phalas. And it is on an endless cycle. Because when we do action, it has a reaction or result of action, what do you say? It has a reaction in the mind and result of action outside. And because there is a reaction, we engage in the same action again if it is positive, or stay away from it and do something else. Again, it creates another action. In this way, there is endless engagement of this action. The cycle never ends. Therefore, the soul never finds its completeness. And when does it feel it complete? Only in the association of sadhus, it comes to realize there can be an end. If you go to a doctor and you have some fever and other things, and it has been going on for many days, finally you cannot tolerate and you go to the doctor. When does it end? Don't you ask that question? I have been doing this, I have been having fever and body pain and this and that. Is there a solution at all? And definitely the doctor would say, okay, here is take your medicine. All right. But I'll caution you, what? There is a side effect. You want immediate solution, you can take this, but there is a side effect. Every medicine comes with a side effect, isn't it? And they will say so fast in the advertisement, you will not even notice. If you take this, but you cannot stand, you cannot drive, and you will have a headache, you will have a stomachache, you will have this thing, and then you probably will die also. Okay, anyway, take this. So what is that will bring an end to this endless cycle with no side effects? And that is called Mudamangalamaya. Mudamangalamaya Santa Samaju. And what is called Mudamaya? It is a combination of Jnanam Tada Bhaktihi. That is called Mudamaya. Mudamaya means it brings about the combination of love for the Lord and knowledge about who He is. Otherwise, it will be a blind worship, chanting of the various names of the Lord, showing arati and this and that, which many people do, thinking that that is all to be done only to please Bhagavan. But when the bhakti is there, and knowledge along with that is there, then you know exactly what you're doing. And you derive greater joy out of it. It is like you having correct knowledge about a person and meeting that person. If you meet a person whom you do not know, you may probably engage in a conversation, but do not derive maximum out of that conversation. But when you know who that person is, like Arjuna and Krishna had conversation, no doubt, and how many questions Arjuna went on asking until the 11th chapter where Bhagavan said, oh, I'll tell you who I am now. And once he manifested himself as the cosmic presence, thereafter, not only the questions have changed of Arjuna, but his submission and surrender become evident. So, Mudamaya, Mudamangalamaya. And Santa Samaj, the company of the saints, is so holy, as it is said, it is the holiest of the holy, similar to that of the Tirtharaju. It is said in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira questioned, or in fact, not questioned, he glorified Vidura. Vidura is considered to be one of the most wise persons in the entire Mahabharata. He is considered as the wisest among all. Pandu, Yudhishthira and Vidura, among these three, Pandu, so obviously he died earlier, and therefore he could not be seen much about, we don't know much about him. And Dhritarashtra, as you know, is so attached to his own son. And Vidura is the only person who could properly guide and give advice to Pandavas, and also he gave advice to Kauravas, but they didn't listen. So Yudhishthira is saying to Bhavadvida Bhagavataha Tirtabhuta Swayam Vibho Tirti Kurvanti Tirtani Swanta Stena Gata Brata. Bhavadvida, like you people. Bhagavataha. Bhagavataha means Bhagavat Bhaktaha. You know, in some South Indian states, Bhagavata means one who sings. Bhagavata means Bhagavat Bhaktaha. Those who are devoted to Bhagavan, they are called Bhagavataha. Bhavadvida Bhagavataha Tirtha Bhutaha Swayam Vibho. You are all considered as the very nature of pilgrimage itself. Why? Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani. Any pilgrim place, any place of great importance become important because of the presence of the Mahatmas. Even as you go to a temple, if that temple where the Bhagavan is not worshipped, it is not a temple. If there is a house and nobody lives, do you call it as a home? The haunted house only. Nobody lives there. Can that be a home then? If there is a temple, Murti is there and no puja is done, can that be considered as a mandir? There are many places, largest temple of the world. कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. भाई वहाँ पे महात्मा होना चाहिए, भजन होना चाहिए, मंत्र जप होना चाहिए, पूजा होना चाहिए, आरती होना चाहिए, celebrations have to be done. Bhagavan has to be invoked every day. Then only it is mandir, right? Tirti kurvanti tirthani. Even a tirthasthala, a place of pilgrimage, becomes a place of pilgrimage only because of the greatness of the saints who lived there, who worshipped there, who meditated there, who invoked the Lord there. So, and how and why they do that and how they do it? It is said, Swa antastena gata brada. Swa antastena. Because in their own heart they have whom? Gata brada. Bhagavan Krishna. Holding Bhagavan Krishna in their heart, they make the holy places holy. And they being those who are making the places holy, what they are? They are moving holy places. That's why he says, Bhavatpida Bhagavataha Tirtha Bhutaha. So this is in reference to what Tulasidas says here, as Jo Jagajangama Tirtha Raju. They are the moving holy places. And this Prayag, as I said, is where Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, all the three are coming together. Triveni Sangama. In fact, our Chinmaya Mission Center, every Chinmaya Mission Center has got a name, like Chinmaya Rameshwaram is there. Then when you go to Bakersfield, it's called Chinmaya Gokul, because Bhagavan Krishna is about there. So each place has got, we have Chinmaya Triveni also. You know where? Sacramento. There are 3 rivers meeting there. I do not know one, I know only Columbus or something. Or anybody knows? 3 rivers meeting there in Sacramento. Anybody? Okay, go back and check today. So 3 rivers meet there, and therefore we have given the name Chinmaya Triveni there. Triveni. Veni means the braid, as you all know. And when women, when they make, if they have hair, they make them in the 3 of them, they come together. You know? So similarly, 3 rivers are coming together, and that's become a Veni. So the next line is Rama Bhakti Jaha Sura Saridara Sarasai Brahma Vichara Prachara. First one is Ganga. Ganga is the very expression of devotion to Bhagavan. Rama Bhakti Jaha Sura Saridara. Surasari. It is considered as the origin of the Ganges is not any human origin or earthly origin. Not human origin, meaning it is not in the human world. It is considered as the one which has come from the feet of the Lord Bhagavan Vishnu, held in the head of Bhagavan Shiva. Therefore, it is called Suranam Sarita. Surasari is a Deva Nadi, Deva Praya, Deva Nadi, Deva Pravaha. It is the Pravaha, it is a flow from Devatas. Surasari Dhara, Dhara that flows down. Again, our Chinmaya mission in Niagara Falls is called Chinmaya Dhara. Constant flow. An interesting thing is, when we are thinking about this name, so Chinmaya Dhara we keep for Niagara Falls, and then we put the deity Radha there. Because when it comes down, it is Dhara. When you take your mind up to the Lord, it's called Radha. So anyway, here, Rama Bhakti Jaha Sura Saridhara. And what is this very flow? It is, the very flow is none other than Rama Bhakti, the devotion to the Lord. And in the Sadhu Sangha, in the association or in the company of the Mahatmas, what is most difficult for us to develop will be developed. Bhakti. Devotion cannot be gained by reading a book. Reading a book we can gain knowledge, but not bhakti. Bhakti, that which can be gained only in association of those who have Bhagavan's love. It is contagious. You cannot stop it. When a person of devotion to the Lord is there, and when he or she speaks about the greatness of the Lord, you cannot but have it. So Rama Bhakti is only in the Santa Samaju. As I said, both of them, Bhakti of the Lord also starts from the feet of the Lord. Ganga also started from the feet of the Lord. In Balakanda, when Bhagavan was with Vishwamitra, moving about, protecting his yajna, at one point of time he got into a place where everything was so deserted. Trees were there, but no leaves or flowers, no fruits. And no birds were flying around. So he asked Vishwamitra, what is this place? He says, this is where Ahalya was cursed. And she is waiting for you, O Rama. Touch, and he pointed out the stone, and she will come to life. So Bhagavan, with his graceful gesture, he with the foot, he touched that rock. That's why it's called Ahalya. Halya means that which can be plown. Plowing is called Alanam. Halya. Halya means that which can be plown. Ahalya, rock. Our hearts are a rock, I'm telling you. It is not easy for us to develop love, Bhagavan. It's so rock. Rock means what? It is not cultivated. That's what it means. Cannot be cultivated. Only Bhagavan's feet can, touch of Bhagavan's feet can make our heart soft. So Ahalya, when she was touched and she manifested, she said a beautiful thing. What did she say? Jahi pada sura sarita parama punita prakata baye sivasi sadari. So ye pada pangaja jahi pujata ajamama siradarevu kripal hari. O Hari, Kripalu, O compassionate Lord, Mama Siradarevu. Mama Siradarevu. Touch my head, please, with your feet. Jehi Padasura Sarita. From there, the holy, great Ganges has started. Jehi Padasura Sarita Parama Punita. The most purifying. When I was there in Banaras, we went to the other bank so that not much crowded. We took a boat and we crossed the river. And there, obviously, when you get into the water, I got all this out of that only. Also, but there are various other factors. And I told all of them, those who were with me, that take a dip 7 times with me. I was there for at least 21 times I did that, because 3 groups, I did with them. Now, every time when they take a dip, they must remember the Lord, because it is the remembrance of the Lord with which you take the dip is what is considered as punyam. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Brata Paripalanam Atavadhanam. Even as a person does the Ganga Snan, if the mind is not with the Lord, next to you there may be a buffalo also doing the same thing. What is the difference? Another animal or a buffalo or a cow or whatever it is also taking it. So what will be the difference between you taking the dip in the Ganges and the other one? वो सोचते नहीं, आप सोचिए. आप सोच सकते हैं भगवान के बारे में. आप you can keep your mind in Bhagavan and then take the dip. And I also told them, when you are taking the dip 7 times, at the end of it, you should decide what to give up in your life for good. So how long? I said for good. Many of them did not come to me because of that only. Because what did you give up now after that 7 dips that you took? Rasagulla I give up, but not Rasmalai. So we have such attachment to things. Swamiji, all sweets? Yes. Only one I give up, Swamiji. It's okay. भगवान के लिए इतना भी आप नहीं दे सकते हो. Anyway, So, Jehi Pada Sura Sarita Parama Punita Prakatbaye Siva Sisadari. Prakatbaye, you manifested, the Ganges manifested out of your feet, and with great reverence and love, Bhagavan Shiva held it in his head. Because it has come from Bhagavan's feet. And Shiva, being a greatest adorer of Vishnu, he held it in his head, saying that that's a great joy of holding Ganges on my head. In fact, it cools down. That's why Bhagavan Shiva constantly is offered water, Ganges water, because he loves that. Abhisheka Priya. And not just the local corporate water or corporation water. Especially when you give Ganges water, he is the most delighted. We were there in Kashi, so they were offering water there. Obviously, it is company. When we also did with a lot of mantra japa and etc. When we offer, that's the greatest joy. Bhagavan Shiva wants that. What? Prakatabaye siva sisadari soi pada pangaja jehipu jat aj. Those very feet which is being worshipped, that immortal, unborn, great, the feet of yours, ajammama siradara vikripal hari. That very feet from where the Ganges have come, which Bhagavan Shiva holds in his head, that very feet, may it be placed on my head, O Lord. So Ganga is considered so holy. It's because of the fact that it is Bhagavan's own expression, his own manifestation. And when you go and take bath in Ganges, anybody can do that. There is no one discriminated in taking the holy dip in the Ganges. So too, Rama Bhakti sabko milta hai. When you are in the Santa Samaj, in the association or in the company of the Mahatmas, they do not, as I said, they do not discriminate who is from where. Everybody is given the same treatment and everybody is given the same love for the Lord. And also, Bhagavan Shiva holding it in his head. Ganges is in his head, Rama Bhakti is in his heart. Is it not true? That is why Parvati was very curious. You are meditating upon whom? He said, the one on whom the Ganges came, making my mind cool, my heart fulfilled. That Sri Rama only I am thinking about. Meaning, when you have a Rama Bhakti, you remain in the heart of Bhagavan Shiva. Because that is where he is. That is where Bhagavan is having his abode. And both of them are of Ujjvala Swarupa, of great, if you see how the Ganges flowing, when you go to Gangotri, etc. I had been 3-4 times to Gomukha. Gomukha is where the glacier from which the Ganges starts. Very dangerous place. When I did not know it was dangerous when I went there. It's a glacier that is melting down and coming out as because Himalayan glaciers, as Ganges. That's a Gomukha. It appears like the mouth of a cow. It's a Gomukha. So when it is starting very slowly there and then picks up the momentum over a period of time, when it comes to Gangotri, if you put your finger there, it will get cut. That is the force with which it comes. Ujjvala Swarupa. And it creates such a sattva guna in your heart, just like the very nature of the Ganges is of such a brilliance, powerful one. So also Rama Bhakti is that will create the highest sattva in your heart. So just like the Ganges that are flowing into the Prayag and makes that place holy, so too when we have Santa Samaj, it will create the holiness in our own heart, like the holiness of Sri Rama Bhakti. And it is said that Ganges is never ever drought. It never becomes dry, ever. So too, Rama Bhakti can never, once it has started flowing, it never will end. That's why Rama Bhakti Jaha Sura Saridhara. Dhara means continuous flow. Rama Bhakti also, in the company of the Mahatmas, continuously flowing. And next is say, Sarasai Brahma Vichara Prachara. Next one is Saraswati. Gupta Nadi, as I said, hidden. And what is that Saraswati? Sarasai. It is said here, Sarasai. Saraswati is Brahma Vichara Prachara. In the Santa Samaj only, we get the Rama Bhakti, the devotion to the Lord, as well as Brahma Vichara. The discussion about the nature of Brahman, the absolute reality. Just as the Ganges is the Rama Bhakti Swarupa, Saraswati is Brahma Vichara Swarupa. In the Prayaga, Jnana in the form of Saraswati, Gupta, hidden. Mahatmas don't reveal their knowledge until the qualified student is in front. Because the recipient is not ready, the source will not reveal. If the recipient is a dull-witted one, not ready, not qualified, then it is not possible. That is why it's Gupta, hidden. Even as they speak and the greatness of the Rama's glory, etc., in between they would give the Brahma Vichar also. And only qualified student can understand that. So that is why it is said that Brahmaji also gave this knowledge only to not everybody, only to his student. Because Saraswati is Brahmaji's Kanya, the daughter of Brahmaji. So it is said in the Mundakopanishad very beautifully, Om Brahma Devanam Pradamasam Babhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pradishtam Atharvaya Cheshtaputraya Praha. Jeshtaputraya eva praha. Jeshtaputra means it's eldest son and also Sreshtaputra. Qualified student. Who? Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pradishtam. That Brahma Jnanam or knowledge of Brahman in which all other knowledge is enshrined, Atharvaya to his son Atharva. From him only Atharva Veda came. As you know, there are Chatur Vedas, 4 Vedas are there. Rid, Yajus, Sama. Atharva is the last one. This is a specific particular Veda which has very deep secrets of human life. Medicinal details are also there in Atharva Veda only. So the Mundakopanishad, beginning itself, Om Brahma Devanam Pradamasam Babhuva. Brahma is Devanam Pradamasam Babhuva. He is the one among the foremost among all the Devatas, from whom only all other Devas came. Then Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. He is the one who is the creator of the Vishwa, the world, and the protector of the creation as well. Bhuvanasya Gopta, such a person, Brahma, whose knowledge itself manifested as Saraswati. So Brahma Vidya is Saraswati. So that is why it says, Sarasai Brahma Vichara Prachara. In this Prayaga, Bhakti is Ganges, Ganga, and Jnanam, Brahma Vichara is Saraswati. And it is said, Saraswati is not very clearly seen, it is hidden in between Ganga and Yamuna. Again symbolism. Ganga cha Yamuna chaiva madhye Gupta Saraswati. Now what is Yamuna? Karma. Karma is Yamuna. It is said also Karma Katha. Next verse we'll see that. Karma Katha. So the various acts of Rama, and karma is represented by Yamuna. And so where does the knowledge remain? Hidden between bhakti and karma. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna starts talking about karma first and then followed it by bhakti. And then he said, okay, let me now reveal to you what is knowledge. Up to chapter 12, bhakti from chapter 9, from chapter 7 onwards, first 6 chapters about karma, next 6 chapters are about bhakti. And then, after that is over only, he will start to reveal the nature of knowledge. So, the Ganga cha Yamuna cheva madhye Gupta Saraswati. As I said, so Bhagavan, when the Mahatmas, when they start to explain in the Santa Samaj, in general, bhakti is available for everyone. There is no particular qualification necessary for anybody to develop devotion except a simple, innocent, unjudging heart. When one has, bhakti can be developed. Saraswati is also white in color, and sattva is of the nature of white. That's why sattva sanjayate jnanam. When the sattva is predominant, knowledge takes place. And sattva predominance can happen only when Rama Bhaktya eva. Bhagavan's devotion alone can create the sattva virutti, increase of sattva. Because all the great qualities of any person can come to manifest only when such a person has got constant remembrance of the Lord, in whose presence he cannot do wrong. In your presence of somebody whom you love the most, will you do anything wrong? Say anything wrong? So that is why we, unfortunately, when the children do not have love and reverence and respect for parents, they don't mind behaving erratically even in front of them. But when we have love and devotion to our own parents, in their presence, we would not say, utter a word which is wrong, or we do anything that is condemnable. So, in a person on whom Rama Bhakti is there, can even ever think of anything wrong, much less he can do anything. And such a person's heart, which cannot even think of anything wrong, is sattvika. In that sattva only, jnanam sanjayate. Knowledge will take place. Vichara yogyam jnanam tasmat pracharati iti. That is why it is called Brahma Vichara Prachara. Vichara means deliberation, reflection, thinking. So Brahma Vichar is Vichara yogyam jnanam. Jnanam is that Vichara yogyam is subject to be thought and reflected about. That's why it's called Brahma Vichar. It is not that I tell you listen and that's all it is. No. A true teacher is one, when he imparts the knowledge, he allows the student to think about it. You think about it. You find your own final conclusion of it. I don't want to force you to think in this way only you should think. No. I'll give you the correct direction to think. When you think, Brahma Vichar karo, and Vichara yogyam jnanam. Vicharena janitam jnanam yogyam. It is only that knowledge which is gained out of proper reflection is possible to be practiced. We'll see more of it in the next session. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।